So today in Minecraft Skyblock, we're going to be going ahead and making a cobblestone generator that is more optimal. Off camera, I did actually make it a 2 by, I believe 5 it is. So roughly 10 blocks that I break and I go back and forth with my A and D keys on my keyboard and just hold left click. And this is kind of optimal, but not really because I don't know if the items are burning. But based off the thumbnail, we're going to be building what's in the thumbnail. So I want to find a chunk. So I've done F3 plus G and we're going to find a chunk in like a corner of our island, I think is the plan. Actually, we're gonna build it right here. So this chunk, we need to go ahead and grab some grass. So we'll go ahead, grab out a decent bit of grass here. I don't know if we need this much, but we're gonna make it a chunk long, or at least however much the size of the design is. By the way, I am following a tutorial, which is linked in the description, and I'm also going to modify it to my liking so that it actually works even more optimal. But yeah, there's gonna be a tutorial in the description with the original creator that I found it from. I don't know if they're the 100% original creator, but I know that's where I found it from, so I'm gonna credit them. Okay, so we're pretty much done filling this all in. I am gonna expand this out just slightly on the very edge of the border, and I think we can put the redstone torch in, I believe, the corner. That's where I want to put it for now. So we go ahead, put a block down here, and I guess I can break these two. And we have to grab out the redstone torch, which is pretty simple, a piston, and I don't know if there's a redstone limit on the server, so we'll see if it breaks or not. We'll just have to see. If not, then it's gonna be a whole different tutorial, or maybe I'll specify which one is which, like if I got which one to succeed or not, if I have to find a new one. We'll see. There will be multiple links or just one link if this works in the description. So we put a redstone torch there, but we put a block here and we put the piston here, and we're gonna also need a leaf. And to mention this also really quickly, it doesn't matter what leaf it is, and I do play on fast settings, so you won't be able to see the waterlogged leaf, but that is waterlogged. As you can see, the water disappeared from my bucket, so that we can generate cobblestone with that leaf, and so the water is not spilling everywhere. From my knowledge, we got one lava bucket, and we could probably make more of these. I'm just not really gonna bother. Okay, so I ran into a little bit of trouble while building this. Apparently the redstone works different on the server, which I was expecting to be a little bit of an issue, but I think I found a way to get this working. We're gonna have it so there's a redstone system starting this all, at least somehow, and I think I know how I can do it. It's just gonna require a lot of hoppers and pistons. Well, technically only 2 hoppers because of a timer that we can lock and unlock. So I've moved the piston over here, and we're gonna have leaves going up, I think 8 blocks if I'm not mistaken, and then we need water in each of them, which we will do in a moment. We just need to go ahead and set up the encased area for the lava, so they're all logged with water now. We need roughly 7 more pistons as well that are regular, so we need a ton of lava buckets. We need roughly 8 of them. All right, the lava is done. So now that I'm thinking about it, we are gonna need some obsidian roughly on these sides of this whole build, and the reason we need it is when we're mining, so we don't actually break the whole design and mess something up. So this all needs to be obsidian. It did cost quite a bit of money, but it's definitely gonna make us money back if this works out. So with a little bit of tweaking, I finally managed to get it working. So if I put a redstone block here, it should expand them out and regenerate all this. If I break the redstone block, as you can see, all regenerated, and from my knowledge, it should work out pretty good making this hopper clock. We just got to go ahead, use 2 hoppers, we put in 1 item, and as you can see, it starts powering it and expanding out the ores, and it literally just keeps going. That's all it is. But now we need to stop it. So basically, if I have this system, I can start and stop it whenever I want until it reaches the end. As you can see, it is now finally stopped and it can't go any further. So that's where we begin our next part of the plan. So 30,000 for a stack of pistons is quite a bit, and I believe from my knowledge it was 11 blocks out if I'm not mistaken. And also one thing I did just go ahead and realize is this top part doesn't even need to be here anymore, so we can go ahead and break this because we can't mine up to this tall. All right, we'll go ahead, get out a ton more pistons. We got 16 more, and we used a little bit over a stack, which is all right. And whenever I'm mining, I'm gonna make sure I turn it off when I'm done, because I don't want to make this running the whole time the server's on, because it could be considered a lag machine, and I don't really want that to be considered that, of course. That's why we have the stopping switch. Also, I do want to mention the design that we were gonna previously use. I'll link it in the description anyways. Even though it doesn't work, this is more optimal and actually works. What we're building currently, I'm just building off of what I watched and got an idea from it, so it's working out good so far. So all the slabs are down from my knowledge. We just need a lot of repeaters. Let's go ahead, get like, I don't know, 16 for now. And everywhere on the inside part of these slabs, we're gonna be putting a repeater. So it activates the pistons, of course. And the thing is, we don't need to change any of the ticks as well on these repeaters. They can stay exactly the same. So we're gonna place in all the redstone that we can, as you can see, but we need to make a whole different timer because I don't want it to keep going continuously like this one, and this could cause too much lag. So we are gonna go ahead, put a timer on the back of this guy. All right, so this should be good enough to actually lock the item in here now, so it shouldn't go past that point. Let's take a look here, grab out our pickaxe, and yeah, it's locked in here. And realistically, I could put it on one system, but I think it's best we just have it on two different systems. It seems more reliable to do it that way, and so it doesn't lag the game continuously, but it should activate this if I'm not mistaken. So again, I had to move the redstone, and I did find a way better optimization for this. This works out way better. For some reason, the observer just was not working. It was working with the other layout I had before I swapped over to that one, and it just was not working at all. I've also went ahead and set the tick delays on every single one of these to the longest tick possible. So on all 5 of these repeaters, the rest of them can just be the normal tick speed, but it looks like it's generating properly and pushing the ores over, which is amazing. Let's take a look here and see if it pushes it. There we go, let's go. So now we have a fully working system for this, and then I can power it on and off whenever I want to use it, which is awesome. This took roughly an hour of raw footage just to figure all this out because so much trial and error. So now we're gonna go ahead and test it out with Super Breaker, which is a part of MCMMO. When you right click your pickaxe and have a higher level of Super Breaker, it essentially just goes ahead and instant mines for a certain duration. But if we go ahead and start mining, you can see we're mining like crazy. I might need to make a hopper floor just so we can go ahead and collect everything, or I could put a minecart system underneath, which is also a good option because the minecarts would then pick everything up and go in a loop and then transfer them to certain spots. That's probably the better option, but let's go ahead, turn on Super Breaker, see how fast this works. Oh my gosh, look how fast this is. So many ores being mined, but the one thing I'm noticing is they're not actually being counted towards MCMMO. I think they have it canceled off, if I'm not mistaken, if the ore gets pushed. So if I want to manually get MCMMO, I gotta go here and mine this, which is tedious, I can't lie, but it makes a lot of sense. So if I need to grind out MCMMO, I can definitely do that. And if I need money and ores, this is a better option for money. Yeah, like this overall is gonna make so much money. We just need a collection system and everything, and we should be good. The one thing is though, with this design, you kind of want to stay away from the pistons so you're not actually gonna break them accidentally. That's the only downside. Otherwise, it's very positive. There's a lot of positives to it. Also, what I'm gonna do for this video specifically, there's gonna be a link down below in the pinned comment of the design, a download for a schematica for Lightmatica, the mod, not the schematica mod, the Lightmatica one. So if you want to go ahead and download that, that'll be down below in the pinned comment. It's also gonna have the collection system that we're gonna be finishing in a different part of this video, because I am gonna go ahead and take a break and start mining a bit, getting our island up a bit more, and then I'll come back with an update here in a moment. So it is indeed the next day, and I did actually go ahead and kind of make a simple design on how I want to make the storage system. So I think for the area that we're going to be mapping out, it's going to be roughly 1 block extra from what we currently have for the setup of the design. So then in case items fall on the ground, they still get picked up so we don't lose many items. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention, I did actually do a bit of mining as well. And if we go ahead and do milestones, we can go to our island and we can go here, and we're actually level 2 now. So we're gonna claim our reward of 2.5 million. So we're gonna go to our island upgrades and upgrade our ore generator, which if we click for more information, what do we get? We get more coal and iron, which is better than nothing. And then we get gold on our next tier. So there we go, we got level 2. But I also just want to preference this once again. I think I've already mentioned it once in the video. Don't make it so this runs continuously. If you are going to make a design similar to this, make sure you turn it off and on when you're not using it, because it could be considered a lag machine if it keeps running the pistons continuously in the redstone. I'd rather people use it wisely if they're trying to get a lot of ores for money. One thing I didn't actually check is how long it takes for a hopper minecart to transfer items into a hopper. That's something I probably should have checked already, but I didn't. Okay, so the downside is I've noticed it goes at the same pace of the hopper. I want to see if it goes across if I just push it and takes items. Okay, it doesn't, so we have to kind of like lock the station and then let it put the items back. But items that stand on top of this should get picked up instantly if I'm not mistaken. Yes. So we need a locking system for when the hopper minecarts land on the rails that have the hoppers underneath them. Pretty simple. Also, just to mention how to place the rails like this, you put the main center rail in the center, put these two down, and then you repeat the process. It's a little bit wonky, but it gets the job done. So now we have the hoppers, and it's gonna go feeding right down to the very middle. And it's not gonna be super big, but it's gonna be enough to have enough storage for all the ores that we collect from mining. So on the top layer here, we have to go ahead, break out all the grass, because we need to place down all the rails, and then we'll replace all this, which is kind of annoying, but it definitely needs to be done so we can make sure this gets done properly. We do need to find the center point for the redstone block, which I think is right here. It should power all those. Yep. There we go. So now we put a redstone block on each row, and then we can go ahead and put down the powered rails to make sure they're all powered continuously. And I'm pretty sure if it hits the end here, it's just gonna go back, if I'm not mistaken, or it's gonna get stuck. One of the two. Let's take a look. Okay, so it just goes back. Perfect. And of course, I didn't test if this works, so let's take a look. It does power it. Okay, my theory was correct. So we put a ton of repeaters down. I don't think it matters on the delay at all. It technically shouldn't matter, but we'll see. And I want to make sure the hoppers do not get locked at all, so I am going to go ahead and break the blocks that I put here, so no redstone actually gets activated from that point moving forward. It will only power the rails and not the block underneath, only this block and the rails. So we're going to put our block in, and then we do need to go ahead, put down a sticky piston with, of course, the lever on the top. So if I turn this on, it should start working in a bit here. Let's take a look. Yes, it works. Let's go. If I need to adjust the delay, I'll be editing this one, this repeater right here. So now we can start placing in hopper minecarts. We're just going to buy a decent amount of these, and they are going to start moving off the start, which is a little bit annoying, but they go back instantly, so it's fine. Should pretty much be situated. We need one more, so let's turn it on and give it a test run. There we go. All of them are working, and then they go back. So it's definitely working. The only downside is we need the hoppers to be longer. So we're going to go ahead, lock this, and we'll let it run one more time if it needs to, which it doesn't look like it. So we're going to extend this, and we're going to extend this out roughly 2, I think, on each side, of course, because why not? And then last but not least, we can go ahead and start filling in all the grass. We can even use dirt, because realistically, the blocks that spawn above it are definitely gonna turn this into dirt anyways, so it doesn't really matter. And we should be done. So we'll go ahead and turn this on, and I just want to see if it picks up a, let's say, dirt. So we're going to turn it on, see if that dirt gets picked up. There we go. And then it goes all the way back and just sits there. And then the items should go eventually into this hopper right here. As you can see, we already got the dirt back. That is amazing. I'm actually so happy about this. This is so cool. But there you have it. We have our amazing cobblestone generator system for making ores. Not MCMMO though, because they have a prevention system for that, which I believe is reasonable. But either way, we get a lot of money from this now, and I'm gonna start grinding this out a ton. Let's go.